about?
Is this the podium?
That should do it.
All right!
Okay, listen up!
Can I ask you to hold that until I need it? Okay, here we go.
Listen up!
Follow her backwards.
Lauren, are you here?
Right behind you.
Sir. Lauren, what?
The Smqaa 42. 42.
42.
Hey, we need help from you people out there to turn around and tell the people behind you to shut the f*** up.
So with that, as is our tradition, it's Smqaa.
Quiet! Shh. That's better.
Give it to him, Rick. Of the poem from the Smqaa laureates.
Yes.
Rick Levine.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages,
Yes.
kings and queens, divas and sages, keepers of the scotch and holders of the light, new friends and old friends and loves gathered here tonight. Whether you've come here before or for your very first time, you're about to experience a traditional rhyme. A Smqaa tradition of 21 years that spans the decade, the laughter, and the tears. The story of Smqaa is important to tell. Yet on the past I shall not dwell. Nevertheless, those of you who are here for your first into Smqaa history, you're immersed. It's my honor to do this one more time, to stand before you and read you my rhyme. It's a Smqaa tradition that's lasted for years, through comings and goings, through joys and tears. As the Smqaa Poet Laureate, I'm here to sing you my song and to help you see that you each belong, but as your court astrologer, I'm here to say there's nothing to fear. We're right on schedule, and the end is not near. It's not about death. The real issue is birth. And you can see it all over planet Earth. The planet's in labor, and it's getting real strange as weather patterns rearrange, as economic pressures shake our lives, as we see who falls and who survives, as corporate interests realign, as we get messages from the divine. And by divine, I mean the wisdom of love and the meaning that comes from the stars above. You know, this is tougher than it appears, aside from the fact that I just wrote this afternoon and have not read it through. And aside from the fact that I'm standing on a chair that wobbles, that's keeping my core engaged.
Don't be engaged.
You California.
I do. You know, this is tougher than it appears. I've been doing these Smqaa poems for years, standing right here, reading these words from the page, while being spontaneous, serious, and sage. But these words must be written one at a time. And Kindle's just screwed up on me. There we go. But these words must be written one at a time, in rhythm and meter and also in rhyme. But that part is easy once there's a flow. Each word somehow just knows where to go. It's crafting the message that can be really tricky, because you're a tough crowd. And you can be picky. So many times we've been here before, yet again and again and again you expect more. This wouldn't last if I were a bore. So each year I'm challenged to make my thoughts soar and to take you along for a ride on my mind and see what kind of treasures we find. Some years have themes, some are all over the map. Some years I have to put on my thinking cap to make this sound different, yet still feel similar, so it's not boring, while it still seems familiar.
Yeah.
Now that I've wasted time telling you how this is so hard, I have to come through again and be your bard to remind us why, to remind us where we are and why we are here, and why we keep doing this year after year. Your invitation to Smqaa 42, unlike glucosamine echinacea or the bark of you, arrived without a guarantee. For no one knows what it shall be. Smqaa makes no function claims. This whole damn party could go down in flames, but we could also touch the sky as we sip our scotch, as we get high. But you know, getting high isn't about the sky above. It's about this strange thing we call love. Love is worth more than meeting sales quotas, worth more than all the grain in the Dakotas. Love is more than the stars in the infinite sky. Love is more than a tear in your lover's eye. Love is a conscious act of creation. It can't be constrained by the laws of a nation. There are times when love blossoms and times when it dies. The best we can do is know that when it flies, it will be back when it's time to be reborn again. Just like the grains that are loved by the rain, the fields that lay empty in the winter dark come to life with the sun's bright spring spark. The sprouts grow green and ripen and brown. Then they're harvested, processed, and sold by the pound. Some are turned into food for the belly, bread to sandwich our nut butters and jelly. But some is boiled and mashed and distilled. And it's with this magic that our glasses are filled. And this magic is blessed by the love of the sun that kisses the grain until it is done. But the real love in this room is the love that we share, that spills out of our hearts and infuses the air. It's reborn each and every time we meet. So wiggle your toes and shuffle your feet. And wait for the page to turn. Giggle and smile and acknowledge this group while I fill you in on the Smqaa scoop. Woo. Listen to me if you're brand new. This is Smqaa 42.
Awesome.
You are part of a special tribe, a special group with a special vibe. This sacred order of single malt scotch has been quite a thing to enjoy and to watch. It started with a passing thought. Now look at what the gods have wrought. 21 years ago, we started this tribe so we could get together and imbibe. But we're not the first group to gather round grain. I've said this before and I'll say it again. What makes this group special is not what we drink. It's who we each are. And it's what we all think. It's who we are that makes this night fun. It's how we've each lived and it's what we've each done. The magic that gathers each time in this room is a medicinal herb that's now in full bloom. It's an eternal fire that never goes out. Unless, of course, you begin to doubt. And each time you get that Smqaa invite, you know we're all in for one special night of renewing the flame and recharging the soul, of deepening friendships that help us feel whole, of pushing the boundaries out just a bit. Amongst old and new friends we happily sit. To the malt of the grain, we toast once more, as the spirits of Neptune shroud the shore. We leave our mundane chores behind. Our dreams come to life and our thoughts unwind. Now, as we look back on our checkered past, I feel like it's Passover and we're not allowed to And now, as we look back on our checkered past, we can see how time flies, and it flies so damn fast. For those of you who have been here before, you know the story, you know the score. You know that EXPO was once a small show, yet in the 80s and 90s, it did grow by bounds and leaps and leaps and bounds with vitality and speed that still astounds. You know that this idealistic crew challenged the status quo and what was true. And you know that the FDA took on the role to exercise its total control, to save the people of this great land from starry-eyed hippies. I didn't say anything, Mark. From starry-eyed hippies who didn't understand the ways of corporatocracy, whose bottom line was one of hypocrisy. Had to do it.
Totally good.
Into this conflict rode the NPQAA. The Natural Products Quality Assurance Alliance was too unwieldy to say.
Yeah.
So we shortened the acronym to NPQA, NPQAA, NPQA, which is the origin of Smqaa. Although NPQA flourished in its day, it faded with the passage of Deshay. In 1994, most of you have heard this story before, Deshay changed the game and opened the door for corporate money to walk on the floor of EXPO East and EXPO West. The industry grew. You know the rest. Gurus in robes smoking weed morphed into briefcases and legalized greed. 21 years ago at EXPO East, a small group of us met in secret, unpoliced, and opened a bottle of single malt to bring the noise of EXPO to a halt. In an undisclosed room, a small group in secret met, and with a single malt scotch, their lips were wet. They sealed a pact in fellowship and brought the scotch up to their lip. Oaths were shared, and rhymes did flow from my lips. Quid pro quo. Something for something. Tit for tat.
Yeah.
A poem to remind us where it's at. This poem always changes, yet it's always the same. So once again, my words take aim. I spin a web of rhyming delight to help us remember our purpose tonight. A purpose we have. Let us not forget. We still must be ready to fight off the threat.
Yeah.
The threat to our vision of health and of life and of love. To maintain a world view that we're proud of. To inform Big Pharma and the FDA that this movement is not going away. And that DNA testing in New York State of ginkgo biloba is just a way to negate alternative medicine and a holistic view, and to keep fear, not love, in the daily news.
All right.
Warriors of peace.
So, as always, our patron founders warrant a toast. Friends so amazing with more than most. Lauren Israelson. Rob McCaleb. And Mark Blumenthal. Created the Smqaa tradition for us all. Our version of the Trinity is Lauren, Rob, and Mark, who created Smqaa with their own spark. Now, sipping scotch is like God's grace. It takes us from the hectic race of selling and making deals and delivers a natural product that heals. Scotch heals the wounds and heals the soul. It burns my throat and makes me whole. It heats my mouth. It heats my mouth, I think. There it is. And softens my heart. It puts it together and takes it apart. And my mind thinks back to all those times that at Smqaa I've read these rhymes. I think of all the things we've done. I think of all our crazy fun. So, blow those pipes and make a fuss. Non-consensus, unanimous. Strike the band and sing of cheer. There is no doubt at all. The bar stops here. The bar may stop, but the fun does not. These parties have changed from to scotch from pot. Our little gathering has become more than we originally meant. You see, EXPO's the sideshow, Smqaa's the event. But for a moment, I must digress to something important that must be addressed. As we age, remember, it's been 21 years. We look around and we're missing some of our peers. I'll not get all morbid and obsess about death, but it's natural. It's as natural as taking our very first breath. So I'd like to raise a cup to a couple of friends whose journeys on earth have come to their ends. Sandy Cutler was a champion of our cause. To honor his work, we should all take pause. As a friend of this group in so many ways, I honor his life and I honor his days. And now that his life has come to an end, I honor his memory as a very dear friend. And I must also honor the passing of my astro brother Jeff, who recently took his very last breath. Jeff Jower was my partner in the business of stars. Together, we taught about Venus and Mars and the magic of the cosmos at the moment of birth and the effect of planets on our life on Earth. But now Jeff is gone, and Sandy too. To these beautiful souls, I say adieu. I say bon voyage and fare thee well. It was a privilege to walk with you for a spell. And now that you're gone and we are still here, one thing remains so very clear. The planets keep moving round in the sky. We are left to wonder why the meaning here and meaning there is the same and lays things bare. But like a radio that plays a beautiful song, it's here one moment and then it's gone. Though we can't hear the music once the radio breaks, it's easy to make a common mistake. Just because we can't hear the music blare doesn't mean the broadcast station's gone off the air. So, here's a toast to all those who are near but can no longer sip scotch or share in this cheer. Let's not mourn their passing. Let's celebrate their lives and remember that their love survives and that the mysteries are more magical than we can know, regardless of the changes we undergo. Let's remember dear friends who are now gone while we remain to sing their song. Even when lives get tough, even when things get rough, even when things fall apart, laugh and open up your heart and use those magic herbs and brews to help you chase away dem blues. So raise your cups and hear these words. EXPO's crowds are for the birds, and though we go there, and play there too, when the busy noise is through, Smqaa is the thing to do. Now many moons have come and gone, still Smqaa lives and carries on. Ideals of those who taste the grain that grow each year upon the plain, ideals of those who sell a life of health and wholeness without strife. We've created a world with too many ill. Is the solution found in some little pill? Or is that just overkill? Perhaps the solution is in the still. Now, I'm not suggesting that we fix our ways by drinking ourselves into a daze.
Darn.
I'm not suggesting that alcohol will awaken us to a higher call, but away from the show's maddening noise, we join with friends, our glasses poised. We remind ourselves of our purpose here. We sip the grain, our purpose clear. Our purpose is to create some space away from the maddening, hectic rat race. We lift our glasses, our spirits too. We know what to say, we know what to do. We say it without malice, we say it without fear. We say it one and all. The bar stops here. At 21 years, Smqaa has come of age. And now we turn another page into the special history of our special tribe that finds time in Scotch to imbibe in the middle of this hectic show, but here the dreams of Scotch do flow. So this is what tonight is all about. It's knowing where to place our doubt. Doubt the wisdom of our government. On destruction they seem so hell-bent. Doubt the wisdom of aggression and war. It didn't work then, it doesn't work now, and it didn't before. Doubt the destruction of our forests and seas before the wrath brings us to our knees. Doubt the intelligence of our big brother who seems to be looking out for someone other than us. But don't doubt for a moment the love in this room, for it can overcome any doom. Oh, and about this. This talking stick from the northern lands of Canada, where this custom is kept by the natives who are most adept at acknowledging those who speak the truth, and who speak wise and true, who have recognized this thing that I do. And so I wave this proudly and I hold it dear and I say thank you to them for this gift sincere. But now, once again, with feeling this time, recite all together and complete my rhyme. Lift your glasses, make a fuss, and say with me, non compos mentis unanimous. And toast to all who have brought some scotch. It's raised our consciousness a notch. Raise your glass and say with me, it's grand to share and grand to be here with those who know how Scotch can help us. Forget the watch, forget the meetings, forget the trade, forget the business deals we made, forget it all and just be here. Put away your wine and beer. Look, wine is wonderful. I love the grape. But Scotch is more than just fine tape. And a special tribute I must add now to my dear friend Lauren. I must take a bow. We each owe him thanks for keeping this going. His undying obsession keeps these spirits a-flowing. Lorenzo Il Magnifico, who makes this night so. Without him, there certainly would be no show. And a few others. To Stephen Foster, who's not here, who inspired the early group with his knowledge of Scotch. He gave us the scoop. And to Randy Denon. Randy, where are you? And to Randy Denon, who kept the group going strong as a supporter. He helped create our song. And for the kilts, we thank Scott Steinford. Is Scott here?
Right there.
where am I? There we are, Scott. With his sponsorship, we certainly scored. And of course, our bar crew led by PK. And where's Robert?
Not here.
Well, he was when I wrote this in my mind. And Robert Orr, who knows what we have and knows what to pour. And our special thank to Len Monheit and New Hope's support. Without them, we surely would not hold this court. And a special bit of love to the Divas Supreme, who are an enduring part of this team. Okay, I hope I haven't gone too far and go down like some blazing star. So lift your glasses and proclaim, swear to keep alive this flame of hope and of love and of friendship dear. And say with open heart sincere, say it with reverence, say it with joy, say it as one, both girl and boy, shout it loudly without any fear, say it with me, the bar stops here.